Hello guys, welcome to the channel. It's your boy EO here. So today we're going to talk about what are the culture shocks that I've experienced coming from the UK and going to Kenya. What are the differences that I've experienced in terms of culture and what I'm used to experiencing back in the UK, and what are the differences basically. The moment I went to Kenya, I've noticed that the food differences and the eating habits are way different to what I'm used to in the UK. So what do I mean by this? So, okay, cool. The food portions are so much bigger compared to what I'm used to in the UK. In the UK, let's say that I want to order fish and chips, right? So what would happen is 9 out of 10 times I would get ripped off, because they're gonna give me maybe one small piece of fish and they're gonna give me like 4 pieces of chips. Like a really small meal. Not a big meal, a small meal. It's not like America where every takeout you go to or every restaurant you go to, you're getting big portions. It's not like that. Whereas in Kenya, yeah, you're gonna get a meal and it's gonna last you for the whole day. You're not gonna be thinking, oh, when I finish my meal, let me see if I can get something else to eat. No. Once you eat, you're done. Once you have your first meal, maybe that can be ugali or I don't know what it is. I forgot what restaurant it was, but I think it was a Somali restaurant. They were serving ugali and they were serving, the local dishes. So we was thinking, yeah, it's gonna be light work, that we can finish it easy. So then as soon as they came with the food, they're coming with like big plates of food. There were some instances where they tried to put food on the table and it couldn't fit. They had to reorganize the table because it was just too much food. We couldn't hack it. We could not hack it at all. We was even talking to the waitress and we told her, you want to kill me? You want to kill me? And she was laughing and she was like, no, this is nothing. This is the smaller version of the meal. When you go to order something in Kenya, right? And they have different portions of food. So you know how in some restaurants that you go to in Kenya and you have the smaller version of the meal and you have, the meal that's the biggest meal. So the small version of the meal was just too much. Sometimes I could be going back to my accommodation and my belly is so full, I can't even think. So yeah, that was something that I had to get used to. And yeah, I don't think I would ever get used to that. Another shock that happened in my system was that most of the restaurants I went to, they weren't really packed, they were quite empty. So before you guys get onto me in the comments, I'm not saying that every restaurant is like that, but there's been some instances where I would go to a restaurant and I'm the only person there. Or I see a couple of people in the restaurant. I don't know, yeah, maybe it's just me, or I don't really know why that is. But if you guys know, please do let me know in the comments. Like, tell me why that is, because I'm not really used to it, In London, any restaurant you go to is gonna be pretty much packed. You're gonna see so many people in the restaurant, especially in the evening, but it's just what I personally experienced when going there. So yeah. So another culture shock that I faced in Kenya, coming from the UK, was that, the level of the security was so different compared to the UK. So for example, sometimes I would be in the Uber and sometimes I would be walking on the road and I'm seeing so many houses, gated houses. I'm walking down the street and I'm seeing so many security guards guarding the property. Yeah, this was quite different to the UK because pretty much every house that you go to, you're not going to be seeing any security guard. You can pretty much just walk into someone's house. But in Kenya, yeah, you try and do that. That's not really going to work out for you because number one, they have a gate man. They have a security guard near the premises. So if you try to, break in, you pretty much have to go through the security guard. You pretty much have to be able to climb over the fence, so it's pretty hard. I'm not saying that Nairobi is super safe, Obviously, you're gonna get some situations where people break into people's houses. Is everywhere. Everywhere you go in the world, you're going to experience that. Also, when I was going to the airport, I was leaving Kenya and I was going back to the UK. So before I even got into the airport, I had to get out of the car. I had to go through security, get my bag checked. They also had to check the car for any drugs or anything that's illegal that might be in the car. We got into the airport and we had to go through security again. We had to get our bags checked. So we pretty much had to go through security twice. Whereas in the UK, yeah, you could pretty much just walk into the airport and only go through security once. They're just gonna scan you, check your bags, and yeah, you pretty much can, go about your business. So yeah, I feel like in terms of security, the security is way more stricter and is way more better than the UK. Even when I was going to the shopping mall or I was going to the gym, I was always being searched. They had to check me to see if there was anything in my pockets. So this was something that I had to get used to because I'm not really used to that coming from the UK. Another culture shock that I had to experience. Apparently, women in Kenya don't go to the gym. It's just what I've been hearing and what I've seen as well. Like, I would go to the gym and I would probably see maybe 2 women and the rest are men. I'm not saying that every Kenyan woman doesn't go to the gym. I'm not saying that. You're gonna get some women that do want to go to the gym. But yeah, it was something that really surprised me because I was like, hold on. These women have nice bodies, nice physiques, they have curvy shaped bodies, you know what I'm saying, But they don't go to the gym. And I'm like, how is that possible? How is that possible? Like, what have they been feeding these women? Like, I don't know, guys, women, please let me know, the secret because I don't really know why. I don't know how someone can be in shape and not go to the gym. Coming from the UK, people have to go to the gym to be in shape. But for some reason, in Kenya, yeah, that is irrelevant. That is completely irrelevant. Please do let me know down in the comments what you think. So yeah, guys, if you enjoyed this video and you have anything to say, make sure to leave a comment down below and also make sure to like the video and subscribe. Peace.